Hello and welcome to my review of Belial, the Grand Master of the Deathwing. One of these models will cost you £26. Individually, he was initially released, included in the Deathwing Assault box set, of which you can see the beautiful box art. I don't think I'll ever get rid of this box behind him. For £26, you're getting a kit that consists of 17 plastic components. The only option you get is a slightly different head option, which is essentially either hooded or unhooded. We'll have a look at his alternate head a little bit later on in the video. But first of all, I'd like to wish you all a very warm welcome to these brand new Dark Angels miniatures and reviews. All of these Dark Angels reviews would not have happened if it wasn't for Beats, so thank you very much, sir. He was able to secure me one of these box sets from his local third-party store, so big thanks to them as well. And I'll just say the format of this video will be as usual, so I will look at Belial himself, go through all of his details and things, pick out some of my favourites, how easy he was to build, look at his spare parts, which is just the head, go through some size comparisons with other Deathwing and Dark Angel models, including the Lion, and then at the end I'll go through all of his rules that can be found in the whopping almost 100-page Dark Angels Codex supplement. So first things first then, the model. He was very straightforward to put together, an absolute joy. Very interesting how his chest and torso was connected to his legs. I like the scenic base. There's just a little bit going on. He's not too overcrowded. I really like this skeleton that's sort of almost on fire. There's some kind of like skull purity seal thing going on. I like that he's robed in a way. There's like robes here, there's robes at the back. You might want to, you know, paint him before you put him together maybe, but you can definitely get some of the detail and things in there. He's got some kind of little dagger. He's got this shield thing with a very nice resplendent winged sword there. I've gone for the hooded look because when I do pick up another set of Deathwing Knights, I will have them with the maces and the hoods, but for now the set that I was included in the box, I've gone for their awesome looking helmets. His Stormbolter is very nice. It's very bespoke, very old school. It's kind of framed and it has these sickle magazines, reminiscent of the old school sort of combi-bolters or Stormbolters that just look like bolt guns that were like glued together. He's got this little strap on it. He's even got a bespoke shoulder pauldron that says his name on, just in case anyone, you know, just in case he misplaces his shoulder pauldron if and when he takes it off. It says Belial on there, obviously. Then he's got this kind of bespoke icon thing with the winged sword at the top. His sword, speaking of which, very Dark Angels, bit shorter than your average sort of power sword, I think. Bit shorter than your, you know, power sword equivalent, just a little bit. But it's got these wings, very, very nice looking, very relic looking. The armor is lovely, of what you can see from it. I like this sort of Crux Terminatus kind of icon with the lightning coming from it. He's even got some flames there. I'm surprised that his cloak hasn't set on fire. And then another little attention to detail, which I don't think many people will pick up on, is the vents for the Terminator armor. Kind of 3D detailing in there. Reminds me of sort of like those Venetian windows in a way. So yeah, you've got that little bit of detail. But yeah, lovely mini, very nice unit to lead your Deathwing, and goes really, really well. So that's Belial. Let's have a look at his spare part then, which is just his alternate head. So you can pick this one instead. Yeah, he's a very cheery fellow. And yeah, you can go for that without the hood over if you wanted to see his face. That's the only spare part. Let's get on to the size comparisons then. Well, first of all, I'd like to compare him to one of the Deathwing Knights. So right here, this is probably like the Sergeant of the Force. I just want to compare him to some Dark Angels units first of all, guys. So he's going to be like bigger, taller because of that scenic base. He's on the 50mm as well compared to the standard 40mm, which are getting a bit crowded really nowadays with these bigger Primaris Terminators. But yeah, as you can see, he works really well with the icons and the Dark Angels iconography and things. Yeah, leading the Deathwing Knights. With a Deathwing Terminator, this is probably one of my favourites right now because he's toting a plasma cannon, absolutely amazing, and a chain fist. Yeah, again, works very well with these if you're building up a force. So that's those. Next to, I don't know, say like the Terminator Captain, the new one, which I've put a Dark Angels helmet on. That's where he stands up. It's going to have the same size base, which is the same size Terminator base as the Leviathan Captain in Terminator armor. He's bigger than you know, your normal sort of Space Marine Captain in Terminator armor compared to the Leviathan one, because I just have him out. It's a tough one. I think that I think he's just a little bit taller. Just a little bit because of this icon thing. Shoulder wise, there's not much in it, but yeah, it's a close one between those two. So if you wanted a centerpiece Terminator Captain, then yeah, both of these are, you know, going to work quite well. They've both got the Storm Bolters, both got the power swords. You could proxy them. And then the final comparison that I'd like to make is just with his chum, the Lion L. Johnson. Right here. I haven't glued him onto the base for, well, pretty obvious reasons. That's where he stands next to Lionel Johnson. You know, a little bit smaller, probably, I'd say 4/5 of the height. It's hard for me to get a comparison with him stumbling all over the base, but yeah, 4/5 maybe. He's not 2/3, he's a bit taller than 2/3, but I hope that helps give you an idea of just how big Primarch is. But then again, the Primarch is on that scenic base. If we took him off the scenic base, he's only a little bit bigger, really. Not a massively sized guy in this 40k revision, I guess. So yeah, that's where he stands up next to them. I haven't yet got Asmodai. I can't for the life of me find out where Azrael is, but I did do a review of him about 9 months ago, and I most likely will do a refresh review because of the new rules for him. But he will probably feature in my full Dark Angels kind of recap video once I've picked up all the other Dark Angels units, which will include another set of Deathwing Knights. Compared to the usual suspects that I like to review right here, so you've got, as always, on the left, a normal Space Marine, Slime Arbo, and a Primaris. Compared to a normal Space Marine, he's way bigger. There's much more of a size difference there compared to Primaris, though. Even a Primaris is sort of, again, probably 2/3 of the height. He's going to be one of the biggest sort of Space Marines that you'll have, other than the Lion, walking around the battlefield. You know, he's going to stand heads and shoulders above all your Deathwing Terminators and Knights. So a real focus point, I guess, for your enemy. Okay, this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for Belial. This is the first time I've ever reviewed Belial in the 10th edition form. You'll find him alongside many of the sort of HQ units, I guess, in the Codex. He's actually quite far back compared to the rest of them, like Azrael and Asmodai. But points-wise, he will cost you 85 points. So he's 20 points more than Asmodai, but 20 points cheaper than Azrael. And he's 15 points more than Ezekiel and Lionel Johnson. Let's just not go there. But the main point is that he is, you know, a good chunk under that 100-point sweet spot, What do you get for these 85 points then? Well, you get a movement speed of 5 inches, a toughness of 5, save of 2+, with an invulnerable save of 4+, 6 wounds, leadership 6, and objective control 1. I think that's the same stat line as a normal Space Marine Terminator Captain, which is quite cool. The unit composition is 1 Belial, he's an epic hero, and the model is equipped with a mastercrafted Stormbolter and the Sword of Silence. So he has a named weapon. So this mastercrafted Stormbolter, it's precision, rapid fire 2, range of 24 inches, 2 attacks, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, AP 0, damage 2. So what you're getting over the normal Stormbolter is just that precision special rule. Melee weapons though, this is where it's at. He's got this Sword of Silence weapon, which again has precision. It's a melee weapon, 6 attacks, weapon skill 2+, strength 6, AP -2, damage 2. So again, it's just a beefed up power sword really. Leader, this model can be attached to the following units: Deathwing Knights, Deathwing Terminator Squad, Terminator Assault Squad, and Terminator Squad. So you can pretty much put him with any of your Terminators that you have. Abilities, the core abilities are Deep Strike and Leader, and faction is Oath of Moment. His specific abilities though, he has the Grandmaster of the Deathwing. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, if a critical hit is scored, that attack has the precision ability, very nice. Strikes of Retribution, each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, roll 1d6 to a maximum of 6d6 per attacking unit. For each 4+, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound. That's pretty nice. So, you know, if you're getting attacked by something in melee, then you've got the chance there of scoring additional mortal wounds, which is amazing, especially when you're using Deathwing Knights, where the Knightmaster's great weapon is that great weapon of the Unforgiven. Keywords: infantry, character, epic hero, Imperium, Terminator, Deathwing, Captain Belial, Adeptus Astartes, Dark Angels. So there you go, that's my review of Belial. I think he's a great miniature, works really well with specifically the Deathwing Knights, and even can bump up a Deathwing Terminator Squad. That's how I would run him. I wouldn't run him by himself. I'd attach him to some Terminators, maybe put them in a Land Raider, nice little Death Star unit, I guess. But they all have the Deep Strike special rule, so you could Deep Strike them in if you didn't want to spend the points on a Land Raider. What do you guys think of the model and the rules? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be good to hear from you. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.